Friday, 13th August 2021 broke dawn, and the dawn brought news, and the news has spread. Here on UBC, we bring you the authentic news with UBC's lunchtime news. My name is Priscilla. Nalwoga, welcome. Starting off with the story for the day, government has extended financial support to boost value chain to small-size enterprises in the coffee sector. The Minister of State for Investment and Privatization, Evelyn Anite, said that Equity Bank's strategy of linking local coffee farmers to access affordable credit and market coffee products is the best option to increase revenue, production and consumption of coffee-related products. The minister was in Tinda commissioning a coffee city plant aimed at increasing domestic coffee consumption through a local modern coffee center. Here are the details.
Following the directive from His Excellency the President of allocating 100 billion to support them, just like we did with our agriculture credit facility. So we've gotten this 100 billion, which we will give through the central bank, and central bank will identify counterparts like the other commercial banks or government-like banks like Post Bank and Housing Finance to come and borrow this money, and then they make their contribution, which is also going to match up. For every money that you get, then you have a match up. So we will have a match up of again another 100 billion, making a total of 200 billion that we will then lend out at a very low interest rates and very long tenure to support small enterprises as such. And apart from that, through private sector foundation, government has given money, and I understand that the ED of Private Sector Foundation is here. He will tell you the exact figures that we have invested, but it's over 8 billion that we have invested through Private Sector Foundation to support small and medium enterprises as such. We must support our local investors. For Nelson, a Ugandan, to put such a facility here, the coffee city, and employ these young people, he's employing over 100 young people. This is the direct ones, but also the additional young people is employed. I'm overwhelmed, overjoyed, excited, and I really, and he's young, so Young Africa truly works. Beauty about this is that Coffee City, working together with the Equity Bank to link the farmers with a ready market. For me, this is very exciting news because our farmers have also been suffering and not being able to get a readily available market. Now they're connecting them, linking them up to the market. And apart from linking them up to the market, they are also going to have access to credit.
So one of the things that we're trying to do is that we don't only support the farmer, we support the farmer to support through the value chain. You give him money to do the garden, to look after the garden. After harvest, after drying, then we support them in terms of looking for the market and the off-taker. So there's the off-taker, the market is ready, so we support the farmer. So along the chain, along the way, the farmer is able to get the value out of his produce.
So what is your target?
Thank you so much for that story. It's now close to 50 years since salt processing was last carried out at Katwe salt mines in Kasese district. This is after the salt colluded pipes and the Germany investors projected and abandoned the project hastily. Now a consortium between Ugandans and Chinese investors want to extract the process with brine and evaporate deposits of Lake Katwe into an edible and industrial product. Uganda is well endowed with economic quantities of salt deposits at Lake Katwe and also Chibiro Salt Gardens in Hoima. These are the details.
Extraction and processing of salt at an industrial scale is on high gear at Katwe Kabatrotan Council, Kasese district.
Now the job we are undertaking is to make clear again what's the situation underground, what are chemicals we can explore from the underground or under the lake.
The salt factory, which last functioned in the mid-1970s, is being revived by Rwenzori Shining Star Limited, a consortium of Ugandan and Chinese investors.
This is a commitment of the National Resistance Movement government to ensure that they bring development closer to the people of Kasese and add value, including job creation and reduction of poverty amongst the people of Kasese.
Salt mining at Reikatre in the Kasese district is dominated by women who extract deposits, mainly during dry season when evaporation is at its highest.
The people who have been there as artisanal salt miners using the rudimentary methods, maybe they can also help us improve on the way of mining our salt.
And the methods they are using are the rudimentary local methods. We do not have any improved technology. The only equipment that we use there, maybe sometimes when the lake is very full, we use the pump.
When salt water evaporates, crystals form at the bottom of the lake and later harvested as salt.
To make sure that it can crystallize.
Men participate in extraction on a small scale, especially as lorry drivers and extractors of rock salt, especially at the deeper end of Katwe Salt Lake. Rwenzori Shining Star Limited recently acquired a mining license and surface rights to extract and process the deposits to pure salt for domestic consumption and export.
We will devote to the development of this country, and especially Lake Katwe and Kasese, this region. Thank you.
This, however, has rubbed the local artisans the wrong way.
The best we can do is to get location license. Yeah, because as we speak now, the prospective investor I've been talking about has had an exploration license, which of course was given to him by the government of Uganda. And of course, you know, minerals are a preserve of the government, but still, the Ugandans in Katwe are also for the government of Uganda.
They suspect that the investor may extend his extraction appetite to their salt pans, which they have been surviving on for generations.
Kurugira na baswenguru na banyinenguru baitu bo niho baliraga. Na bwitu bwangu batwara maziba baguma ni bakora babinga intuzi za mchiho bazibinga mu maziba. Kandi tugenda gura gutubya abakozi babo tugore byitu batugure.
Local artisans also fear that their mining rights will be lost and their livelihoods affected.
But in spite of the fact that they are changing our lives, I know they are already owning a mining license. Meaning that in case they don't honor us or work with us together, we may end up losing our salt pan ownership.
However, Katwe Kabator Mayor John Bosco Kananura says the town council demonstration will ensure coexistence between the investors and the artisans.
That investor who is coming up with a salt factory is just going to use a bit of the bigger lake, just a small portion. That is the one whose mining lease he is pursuing. Like I said, the rest of the lake will be left for the extractors.
Katwe Salt Mines in the Kasese district is both a source of salt and black mud, which is also called trona and is locally used as fertilizers, and some exported to other areas, including to Kenya, for making glass. Uganda currently imports close to 200 million metric tons of salt per annum, worth about 94 billion shillings. However, over 60% of the salt mined at Katwe Salt Lake in the Kasese district and the Chibiro Salt Gardens in Hoima district is exported to neighboring countries, including South Sudan, the DRC, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, Kenya, and even as far as Zambia. Haimana Deo and and Kalisha Stephen reporting for UBC News.
Well, we now get to look at over 100 children that were rescued from the streets of Kampala being taken and resettled in Nalwoga Blue Primary School, where they were tested for COVID-19 before they were taken into rehabilitation centers. Those that were negative have now been sent back and resettled into their communities. The ones who tested positive for COVID-19 were treated and quarantined at Nalwoga Blue Primary School, and the rest were taken to Kazi Rehabilitation, among other centers, and also along Entebbe Road. Here are the details.
We have done a bit of rehabilitation. The rehabilitation journey will continue in the different spheres and different organizations the children are going to. And then resettlement or reintegration into alternative care will happen. So we thank God for this process, and we hope that at the end we will celebrate when new children have actually stuck to going home, to sticking to school, to being able to do a skill that you can earn a living from, and to staying off the street. Amen? Amen?
You know, when we had the lockdown, these children could not be on the street. They have always derived their arrival from the street, and since there was restriction of movements, they were going to be really gravely affected, and that's why KCA came on board with support from other organizations like Wearing Places, Praying, and other organizations with, of course, Scout Association of Uganda. We are able to bring the children here for rehabilitation, where they have been for 1 and 2 weeks.
With what they have learned from scars here, they will be useful students, where those who will go in schools and those who will go for further activities. We hope they will also be useful people there. These children on the streets, they were pickpocketing, meaning they were robbing people, but now here we have been able to inculcate useful norms of scouting, which they will now use in the future to make them responsible citizens.
Well, it's your role and my role to be a responsible citizens. Away from that, researchers are urged to articulate the symbiotic relationship between science and humanities while unpacking innovations in this fourth industrial revolution. Opening the three-day humanitarian conference 2021, the chairperson, Makerere University Council, Lorna Magara, amplified the need for the humanitarian solutions for the prevailing challenges of the society. Here are the details.
The International Day for Youth 2021 on the theme, Transforming Food System, Youth Innovation for Human Planetary Health, warrants collective and individual life protection through integrating young people in the food transformation.
Transformed food system increases productivity and quality that are competitive in the world market. The young workers need to be involved in the best practices from today, so that it is sustainable. Yes, innovation cannot be there when there are too many challenges caused.
The Amalgamated Transport and General Workers Union urges young people to integrate for strong bargaining power.
Join the Workers Union and have a strong bargaining power, because when you are 1 and 2, you cannot bargain for yourself. So the young people, it is their honors to be in the union, so that whatever they do, they can have a bargaining power. You know, when you have a bargaining power, you can sit with management on a round table.
Commercialization of agriculture is among the hurdles to this year's theme, as many young people cannot afford the mechanized farming, which requires a lot of money.
The machines that are supposed to be used are expensive. Then as a younger worker, we don't have that capital that can acquire such assets to use.
If the taxes were reduced, that is on the way, innovatively on the way we pass on information as youths, because now the number one informer is the internet to all of us, the youth. But the taxes are too much. It is us, the youth, who can even improve our agriculture to the villagers or to the local people who are doing the farming.
And those who are dealing in milk and milk byproducts. You realize that you cannot have excess of milk and sell it fresh because we don't have mechanized gadgets or something that is strictly for processing milk into milk byproducts.
Limited knowledge and inadequate extension workers block many youth to engage in food production.
Mindset where people now think about technology and versus the small innovation. There's also lack of creativity within the government cycle, whereby empowering the young people. Because we need, first of all, you need to change their mindset to look at productivity, especially in the agriculture sector.
Stakeholders are expected to support solutions developed by young innovators to address challenges to food systems to guarantee inclusive and sustainable development. Abdul Nasir Lubwama, UBC News.
Project Coordinator for Rio Conventions in Uganda, Sabino Francis Ogwari from National Environmental Authority, has cautioned Ugandans to be crusaders in the conservation of environment efforts. He raised this concern today while signing Memorandum of Understanding with 5 districts in Uganda which are currently working with them.
About land degradation, about loss of biodiversity. Because those 3, if they continue going that way, that is a sure way that humanity will not exist on this planet. So with the district now signing this MOU, our hope is that we have created enough awareness about the importance of those 3 components of the environment. So this is to enable the district now carry on the sustainability of the project itself, we are saying. We started with it, and I'd like to thank GA, I'd like to thank UNDP that enabled us to access the funds, but that was a project.
I hope that all these were considered. Because I remember we talked about the revisions, when do we have to revise, how much time, you know, it was quite interesting. Yes, and I hope that at the end of the day, we shall, of course, come up as we shall triumph as a team, and in case of any shortfalls, we still have to accept that as a team.
Every investment comes with its own issues that affect the environment, and those must be taken care of to ensure that as you run your investment, the environment is also sustainable. It is able to continue holding that investment.
This project is aimed to bring together these interrelated different sectors to work together to deliver a sustainable Uganda.
Well, we are going to go in a short break. When we return, we're going to be bringing you more news with UBC Lunchtime.
Man, guess what happened yesterday? Guy entered the what? The taxi. But the pregnancy is from the what? The generator. Then my phone does toot-toot. And the toothbrush breaks in the what? In the porridge. Then I call who?
Wait, what?
First wait, I am still telling you. Then the jerrycan does what?
Love to talk? MTN My Paka Paka now has more minutes. Get My Paka Paka voice bundles to talk and talk at no extra charge. Dial *160*1# to activate My Paka Paka.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Echa COVID-19 kijja kuggwa
only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly, or get vaccinated now.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Man, guess what happened yesterday? I entered the what? The taxi. But the pregnancy is from the what? The generator. Then my phone does toot, and the toothbrush breaks in the what? In the porridge. Then I call who?
Wait, what?
First wait, I am still telling you. Then the jerrycan does what?
Love to talk? MTN My Paka Paka now has more minutes. Get My Paka Paka voice bundles to talk and talk at no extra charge. Dial star 160 star 1 hash to activate My Paka Paka.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
(24:01 p.m. Thank you so much for still watching UBC TV, and UBC Lunchtime News does continue. Looking at civil society actors under the umbrella organization, Uganda Road Accident Reduction Network has appealed to the Minister of Works and Transport to urgently amend the Traffic and Road Safety Regulations 2004 on blood alcohol concentration limit. Helmet use and use of observation methods by law enforcers to save lives, safeguard the economy, and reduce the burden on the health system. Details in this report.
Save lives, safeguard the economy, and reduce burden on health systems.
Advocates, as an entity working for professional drivers, we are calling for zero alcohol level. Do not drink and drive. As for us who are working with commercial drivers, the passenger service vehicle drivers, the goods vehicle drivers, these are vehicles that when one gets involved in an accident, for example a truck, we have seen it, a truck losing brakes and knocking 6 other vehicles. We've seen a bus getting involved in an accident, and we've seen the number of people who died. So for drivers, we think that the best to do is to advocate for zero alcohol for all drivers, including riders.
So we actually want to call upon government to ensure to increase the enforcement of some of its regulations, and those that call for amendment be amended. We need to work together, and we are not shy to say that government needs to be more embracing towards other actors to get support from them, because the
The Minister for General Duties at the Ministry of Health, Anita Kawoya, has made a maiden visit to Mulago Hospital and reviews the performance of the hospital with main focus on the laboratory services. During the meeting, it was revealed that most of the lab's equipment have been underutilized and called upon the general public to embrace the state-of-the-art lab services at Mulago National Referral Hospital.
That are not being utilized by the public, which we have agreed that we need really to come out and tell the public the facilities that are available and that the public can also have access to use. Because we have modern machines, we have the staffs are well trained, and what they are saying is that the equipments we have are not being well utilized, and which has been a very, very big concern. Another concern was to look at the staff's welfare and the services here, and there were some few issues that have been raised up, especially when it comes to the risk allowances of the staff.
Uganda's 5,000 meters Olympics champion Joshua Cheptegei has continued to write his name among the greatest Ugandans ever by offering his golden medal to Stephen Kiprotich. At a function organized to reward excellency to Uganda's Olympics team by the Uganda Athletics Federation sponsors MTN, Cheptegei said that no other Ugandan has ever inspired boys and girls of Kapchorwa into running. He said, and I quote, "I hand over this gold medal for all you have done for us. Your fatherly figure inspired us into running, especially after the Olympics marathon success at the London 2012 Olympics. I will get my golden medal at the next Games in France 2024. At this stage, all in the room were filled with emotions and maybe thought Joshua was done with his acts of generosity. How wrong they were, because the allotted has cash prize award for his patriots Jacob Kiplimo and Stephen Kisa. MTN had rewarded Cheptegei with 50 million for his gold in the 5,000 meters and a further 25 million for his silver in the 10,000 meters. Peruth Chemtai for her gold also got 50 million shillings, while Jacob Kiplimo for his bronze was given 10 million shillings. What Joshua did next left almost everyone in awe, because he substituted his 25 million for silver with the 10 million given to Jacob Kiplimo and told the world that without Jacob, they wouldn't have shined. He climaxed his ounce of generosity with again handing over 10 million to Stephen Kisa, the man in the 10,000 meters final, who played a decoy to enable others succeed. Here are the details.
20 Games was united by emotions, and what you just saw here was the emotions these athletes went through.
There's one announcement, and I'm happy to say that when corporates like MTN come and
Well, Joshua Cheptegei continues to amaze us and cause wonders here in Uganda by doing the generosity act that he has done. But the score is coming up next to give you more into that story. Thank you so much for watching UBC Lunchtime News. My name is Priscilla Nalwoga, and have yourselves a wonderful afternoon.